Right, are you ready to see what we have done?
Let me turn on the light.
You have to be quick because we are in a bit of a rush. Are you ready? We finally kind of got it done. Boom! Look at that. We've painted it red to match the red bits on the car, but we are doing the car separately. But anyway, look at that. Look how beautiful and shiny and beautiful this actually is. Look at it. Right, as you can see, a lot has happened in this shed. We have a floor, we have a door, and I have 2 bottles on my welder now. So, what I'm doing now is I'm just making something where I can keep the bottles attached to the welder, clip them in place, strap them in place, whatever the case may be. The bottles aren't in place yet, they're just kind of there. What I'm going to do for the bottom, I want a little kind of cutout for the bottom, and what we decided to do, we've got some round bar, and I've got an old brake disc which is roughly the size of the bottle. I've welded it to it, and I'm going to heat this up with the blowtorch, and we're going to slowly bend it around the brake disc, and hopefully that will give us some nice bends. I'm going to do 2 for the bottom just so the bottles can kind of go in the bottom, and then I'm going to tie them some way, make some bracket out of this tube, again bend them and make it all nice. That's the plan. See if it works. Right, it is working. Bend it again slightly. Once we get a bit more around again, it is working. It's just going to take time. I had to put the vice grips on there because I knew it wouldn't weld to the brake disc properly, but once we get this done, I'll show you what it looks like. Right, it worked really nice. I just didn't heat it up enough here, but it's going to spring back anyway, and I don't mind the bit of spring back. So we're just going to quench that now to stiffen it up, and we're going to just let it cool down to keep that sort of shape, and that should give us the bottom that I'm looking for. Right, I showed my fails as well as my successes. Completely messed up the beginning of it. I just didn't heat it up enough, and I was trying to heat too much of it. Now I did pick the vented disc on purpose because the vented disc keeps this metal bar in line, and it keeps us nice. It stops us going up and down. But as you can see now, that is a far better bend because I've just heated a smaller area and I heated it a lot more. The spring back, as you can see, we've gone way past 90, but once the spring back comes in, it's practically, I can open it up. It's a lot easier to open it up than it is to push it back in, and I think we are really close with that. So we're going to check it on the bottle now. Right, I'm getting there. I just got a lot of finishing off to do, a lot of buffing, a lot of finishing to make all the points look nice. But as you can see, this is kind of what I've gone with. So I've just made a little point there, and I've just angled it off there, just so when you slide the bottle in, it can only go there, and once I finish this, it can only go there. So we'll have the bottom done very soon. I've got cross braces in there, you can't quite see, but I've got cross braces everywhere. Another one across here and another one diagonally there, and the bottom is done. Then it's a case of figuring out something at the top to hold the bottles in properly, because this is just kind of a stay for the bottom of the bottles. It's not really to hold them in properly, it just stops them from kind of going everywhere, and it's the top that's going to be important. Right, okay, I finished off the bottom. I've also just welded some stays here. This is what I'm going to use to wrap up all the leads and the TIG lead and any other lead I've got. I just like it a little bit thicker than the ordinary one, than just one, because I find, especially if you put a couple of leads on, when you just have one, it tends to slip and it just doesn't fit very nice. So having a slightly wider platform just helps. I've also put a couple of MIG torches stays in. So in other words, I can just put that in there like that, and when I'm further down welding on the floor, I can use that one like that. It's just easier to get the torch in and out when you're welding. On this side, I'm just going to make some holders for the filler rods. So you know, all the different filler rods can go on there and just hang on the side, and I still have the bottom for storage. So we're getting there. So all I've got to do, this ratchet strap isn't proper. I've just got to make my top mounting brackets. I've done my bottom mounting bracket. Sean just can't stop hiccuping for like 20 minutes straight. I've done this again. I've done this. I'll show you what that is in a second. So like I said, these bottles they're not on properly yet. Done all the mounting points here for our, you know, our lance, our wires, thing for the battery, our helmet, and I've also got them for holding the lance. But this just moves so easy. I've got 2 big bottles on here and the welder, and I can just move this with one hand. Absolutely rolls beautifully. What I've done this for is for these, is for the TIG and the, there we go, look. So that will hold all the rods for the TIG, for everything basically, and anything else I want to put there. I had the pipe, I might as well use it. We can stick a lot of stuff on there, and I've still got my bottom shelf for my for more storage. So we've got plenty of storage. A couple more hooks this side, and then the last bit on there for the bottles, and then we'll paint it, we'll undercoat it, we'll paint it, and then it's done. Look at it, isn't it beautiful? Okay, I'm back on the cart now, and I want to make a frame coming up here and going across. I went a bit mad in the hardware shop. I'll show you all them later, on all different bits I brought and different ideas. Some are going to work, some aren't. But I originally did this kind of quickly, and then it turned into a bigger thing, and then I thought, you know what, let's make it a little bit fancy. So we've got a normal piece of 1-inch box is what we're using, but we're going to turn it into this. Look at that. So what it is it's twisted, and it's also dinted in at the same time. So it's just got, if you look at it, it's just got a really, really nice shape to it. And when it goes here, this way, that's what I'm going to do. Again, it just looks a little bit different, just looks a little bit fancy. It's easy to do, it just takes a long time. So all we need to do is get, I've done that one, get our tube, what I think you're using, measure out how big you actually want the twist to be. In my case it's 4 inches. Let me just mark all this all the way around, and I'll show you how to do it. Right, so we've marked all the way around it, and I just put diagonals the same direction all the way around, as you can see there. What I need to do now is I need to cut a slot in the side of all here. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Just cut a slot in there. I'll do that, and then I'll show you what it looks like. Right, so what I've done is I've slit all the corners, and I've just basically scored the top. So that's only gone through about halfway, but all the corners are completely cut through. Now, I'm only turning this, I think about 90 degrees. The more you twist it, the more of a curve and the more of a bend you obviously get. So I'm going to try and do this on camera. Let me set this up in the vise a lot better, and I'll try and twist it on camera, but I don't know if I'm going to be able to. Right, so it's in the vise. You need some sort of Stilsons. These are Swedish something or another. Just my mind's a blank at the minute. Swedish pliers. And what we're going to do is we're going to try and twist. I don't know if I'm going to be able to do this. I don't think I will be able to. You can see it's kind of going. There we go. Look, it is going. There we go. It's a bit awkward on camera. There is a bit of a spring back, so you do need to go, but you can see it started to curve. Now just let me finish this off on camera, off camera, and then I'll show you what it looks like. Well, that's basically what it looks like. As you can see, it always is a bit twisted, so you can see it there. I'm going to have to move the top in just to get it straight before I actually weld it. You can hit these down with a chisel, but I just find you weld it first and then hit them down. It's just a bit easier, because once you hit this down, it pushes against the other one and it pushes the other one out. So I just find it to weld all the corners up now, essentially. But before I do that, I need to straighten it. Weld all the 4 corners up, then get my hammer and chisel, and with the score that I made, dint it in, which gives us it gives us that second indentation. So we've got essentially like a V there. You can just see it there. You go, look. So it not only is it twisted, it's also indentated in. Now you don't need to do that. Some people might want to weld up the actual lines. I just prefer to keep them in there just for a little bit of aesthetics. But that's up to yourself. That's just kind of whatever your fancy is. So let me straighten this up, get all the rust off it, and I'll weld it up. Right, also, you can actually leave the weld there. You don't have to grind it off. I've just done loads of little spots, just like I would be if I was putting a panel in a car. I haven't run a bead. I could actually run a bead, but the only issue I don't run a bead is because you kind of have to, this has to be turned halfway through, because as you can see the way the line goes, and if you could get someone to turn it, you could run a nice bead and you'd have no grinding at all. Or some people kind of like the spots, or you can grind it off. It's entirely up to yourself. I'm going to continue welding all this around, and then we're going to put the indentation in the flat piece, and then grind it all off, and then we're done. Right, I've got a socket in there to stop this from sliding down, and I've welded the two sides, and all I'm going to do is follow that line. Again, I'm not going to be able to do it on camera, but put my chisel in there and just hit it in, and I'm going to show you. As you can see at the minute, again, you might like it like that. There's no indentation, but it's still got a really nice gradual curve. You might like that. You might not want the second indentation. You might just want to leave the line in. You might not want to put the line in. You know, the world's your oyster. So let me just hit this down, and I'll show you what it looks like afterwards. Right, now you can see that compared to that one. Look, that one's flat, and that one, get the right angle, look, is indentated going in. So all I'm going to do now is I'm just going to keep welding this, tapping this back, welding this all the way around, grinding it off, and that's how you do it. And like I said, you don't need to, obviously. It's just going to make it look a little bit different, a little bit nicer. It's just for aesthetics. Obviously it doesn't do anything else. So there we go. Okay, I went a slightly different route with the second one. What I decided to do is I just put a load of spot welds all over the place. Yes, there's a few little bits hanging off, but I mean, it just makes it look, you know, it just adds character. Are all the spots 100% the same? No, but I mean, that's the whole idea of it, isn't it? I personally like this one better. And actually, it's a lot less work because there's hardly, well, there's no grinding. The grinding can take the time. I prefer it to this one. I suppose it depends what you're doing. For the welding cart, you know, this kind of Mad Maxi one just kind of suits it better. Maybe if you're doing something for the garden or something, you know, you want it nice and smooth. But yeah, and what I'm thinking of doing also is I'm thinking of just leaving this one like it is and putting them both on, and the people with OCD are going to hate that. But it's also a bit of a talking point. I haven't decided if I'm just going to stick a line of weld all the way across here yet. I haven't decided, but I've now made them. Right, I did both sides and I also did the top. I was going to put a twist in that, but then I remembered I need to put something in to separate the bottles, because they're, as you can see, there needs to be kind of a gap, an even gap all the way up. So I need to put something in there before I put my main strap system on. Just got to weld all that together, and again, I'm just going to spot it so it all matches up with the spots rather than run a bead across it. And weld it all in. It's only tacked in at the bottom. And yeah, but I personally kind of wish I did it on all this now, but I don't know if I'm going to, because it takes such a long time. But it does kind of look a bit groovy. I like it anyway, and that's all that bloody matters. Right, so this is my plan. I'm going to cut this off here. I'm going to make two of these. I was thinking about making one, but it's just not going to be able to be fitted very easy. So we have a quick release here. We have the metal strap going all the way over here, and a quick release there. So all I do is pop the pin, and the bottle is out. I'm going to put maybe a little chain at the bottom. I brought a load of stuff from the hardware shop, and I was just looking around thinking, oh yeah, I could use them, and I had an idea. But as you can see, this bottle is absolutely solid. Got a nice fit there, and it's absolutely solid. It's perfect. It's resting against here and resting against there. There's a little gap there, but I mean, it's not really a big deal. The bottle isn't going anywhere. And like I said, just clip there, boom, bottle is off. I've got to just put a brace across this because, you know, well, I don't know if I will, but I don't know if I'm going to, but whether it actually really needs it. So I'm just going to put a gusset up here. I might just weld the tops of them as well, just like I did that. But there we go. We are getting there. The bottles are nearly properly on. Boom! Right, it's coming along. I've put a hinge. I've had to change my design slightly just to make it easy to get it off. But basically, this is going to go there, just kind of like that. And it's going to go around, and it's going to hinge from here. It just means it's easier to put these clips on. I'll show you that once I've actually got it on. Lovely. Right, we now have it completely done. I've still got to do a little bit of welding, but you can see we got a clip here, we got a clip there. I've just got to put the beads across here. I've also got to put another strengthening bar coming down there. I've got to finish off the welding here, but now it's that easy. I can do it with one hand, even on camera. Look at that. Now we're going to cut this in half so we can do one bottle at a time, because I originally had that planned, and then I thought, oh no, I'll make it in one go. And then Brian said, well, what happens if you only replace in one bottle? You don't want the other one to fall. So I think I'll just cut that in half and we have two separate ones. But it's on. If I get it on one-handed, should be able to. And our bottles are now secure. Look at that. Boom. Lovely. Right, the bottle holding mechanism is all done. I followed the theme of the spots along both of them. Just the top on there. And just etch prime it now. And we're on the home straight. Right, finally, the first time the bottles have been on with no strap. So, as you can see, it's all clipped in, no straps, safe as houses, and just so easy to move this around. One hand, just absolutely no problem at all. I can do anything to it. It's not going to fall. The bottles are secure. Absolutely perfect. Very, very close to finished. Got all our storage this side, we've got our hooks that side. I've got some more stuff to put on this side. Paint it, put all the inlay bits for the wheels. And then I've got to weld all little tabs in for the inlay bits. That's going to take ages. And once I've done that, put a few more bits on this side, we can paint it. Tell you what I mean, I went mental. This is for an electric fence. I thought I might be able to use it, but I decided not to. I bought more hinges because I didn't know which particular hinge would work at the time. So more hinges, that's to do with something else. I brought chains, I brought hooks, I brought U-bolts, I just brought brackets, I just brought everything. Clips, even these clips, thinking I might be able to use these clips in a different way. I also brought loads more stuff in here. I thought this might be quite handy to make another bracket, a holding bracket for wires, but also look, it's for a gate, I believe, but I can actually put my welder through there. It's another hook for my welder. I bought 4 of them, so I'm going to see if I'm going to put these in. But I just went mental there, and half the stuff, well, 80% of the stuff I don't need, because I didn't know if it was going to work or not. Right, I keep adding to this. I think I'm now done. I put this frame at the bottom, and the only reason I've done that is to hang things from it, like vice grips, all my, you know, all my types of vice grips for holding panels and all sorts. I've got loads of places where I can just hang them off from there. I put this on here, which I was telling you about. I've just bent it. This is what it started out as. But what that can also do, not only can I wrap something around it, I can also put the MIG torch in it, so it's an extra holder for the MIG torch. I also made just a quick frame up there as well, so I can hang all stuff from there. And I think that is all it done, because I can't really see any more things to really do to it. We've got plenty of stuff to hang stuff off. We've got plenty of storage place, plenty of stuff to wrap stuff around. We're kind of there, I think. The only thing I might do is I might just put a couple of little loops here, just so when I put the welder in its final position, I can just put a strap across. And then when I change the welder, if I ever do get slightly bigger, but that's why I didn't want to make it just for this welder. Or just for this size welder. If I get a different one, I can, you know, I've got the space. It's universal, and it's just a case of undoing the strap, and that's why I kind of made it a bit bigger rather than just making it to fit that particular welder. So I think apart from painting, rubbing it down and painting, we're good to go. The only thing I have to do, which I'm not going to film, I just have to put all the little tabs on these here, so I can stick the little corner bits in to make it all match for the checker plate stuff. That's all I've got to do, weld all them little tabs in. It's going to take a while and I can't really be asked to do it now, but I think that's really it. Right, seriously, I think I'm going to stop now. I've put 2 more holders here. So I've got one here and one down there. The bottom one is for, like, you know, when most of my welding work is going to be maybe on the floor doing a car, so I can just lift it there. It's a lot easier than maybe reaching it from there. So I got 4 holders now to hold my torch, but yet I'm still leaving it on thread. So I don't know what all that's about. So essentially these, it just goes there like that. It's just so much easier. I can also hang stuff off here, so I'm going to hang my helmet off this one. I'm going to put the wires on the far side. Don't know what I'm going to do. I thought I was just going to put a strap across there, but I don't really like the idea of that. I want to come up with maybe something a little bit nicer than that. But I mean, it's not going anywhere. It really isn't. So I'm not worried about it. But yeah, I think this is definitely turning in. It's definitely, I wasn't planning on being like this, but I think it's going to be better for it. Loads of storage, loads of everything, well built. It's certainly not going to fall apart easy, and it's most important thing is 2 big huge bottles, and it's as stable as anything, which is obviously a good thing. I know a few seconds ago I said I'm going to stop adding things, but I added another one there because again it's on the other side. It's a little bit higher than that one. Also allows me to wrap the earth cable around there nice and neat. We can wrap the MIG torch around there nice and neat, hang that off there. I got my battery spike there because that's always handy to have. What I also did is, we can see we've got our MIG torch, our TIG torch and our stick torch there. And we've got a bit of, I still obviously got to paint it all and do all that. But what I also did is I added another one at the back just to wrap up the power cord. So it's nice and neat at the back. It saves me having to wrap it up there. You know, I've got plenty of space, but it's just nice and neat out the way. So there we go. Apart from the painting, it is all done. Lovely. I know I said I'm not going to add to it anymore, and I kind of lied because I kind of did. But I've put all the little tabs in place so I can put all the little checker plate in. So I've done all that on both sides. But I did add these little hooks up here. That's all I really added, just so I can hook stuff like that on. That way even. And then I can use all this here and all that there I can use for my vice grips, my G clamps and all that sort of stuff. We got plenty of places to put the MIG and TIG torch holders. We've got plenty of storage there. We got a complete bottom for storage, and obviously where our 2 tanks go. So we are all good to go. Just gonna undercoat it and paint it, and then we can call it finito. Finished. I don't know where I was going with that. Right, are you ready? I have finally finished it. I've just finished painting it. Got everything back on. And are you ready? Before I show you, just quickly write down. I know no one's going to do this because they're just going to cheat. But write down what colour you think it is. Are you ready? Boom! Look at that. And yes, if you're wondering, it is the same colour as my van. So you can see I've got all the little bits of checker plate in between there. Took an awful long time to do it. But all the checker plate on the top, all in here. Just look at it. Finally done. And there we go. Certainly noticeable. And green. Look at it. How cool is that? So I'm just going to put all the bottles and stuff on it now, so you can clearly see what it looks like, kind of with everything on. But lots of storage, lots of places to put clamps, lots of places to hang my torch, lots of places to wrap up all the cables. Look at it. Right, there we go. It's got the bottles on, it's got my welder on, so we can kind of now see what it looks like. The bottles really let it down with all the crap on it, but look at it. Look, it's all on, and it's, like I said before, so easy just to move around with. Oh, when you undo the lock, so easy just to move around one hand, absolutely no problem whatsoever. So there we go, it is now done, complete. Yes, it took a long time to make, but there we go. So this is the setup I'm going to be using for all my other videos now. We've got coming very soon, we've got this bad boy coming up, so I'm going to be doing all the welding repair for this. It's just like everything, just waiting on a few things, and yeah, eventually we'll be getting this done, and I'll be using that welder, showing you how to restore things, make panels and stuff like that. Just waiting on a few more, trying to get some more panels for it, so anyone knows any panels out there, and yeah, or any business wants to get involved and do old sponsorship, you never know, you know what I mean, yeah. And we'll get that going, but that's going to be awesome. Get the engine put in that, around 400 horsepower with anti-lag, so it's going to be nice. So as always, hope you enjoyed it. Please like, share, comment and subscribe. Don't forget, links up here, links down below, but most importantly, don't forget, get your hands dirty. See you for the next one. Sorted.